Shalom. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ha-Rakah Quadash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. And also I want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing this truth with sincerity. All right. Spirit tonight has me in Psalm 40:1. It says, to the chief musician, a psalm of David, I waited patiently for Yahweh, and he inclined unto me, and he heard my cry. You know, we have to wait patiently for our salvation, you know. Just like King David is back on this earth. He's one of the prophets, and he's still waiting patiently, all right? Verse 2. He brought me up also out of an horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock, and established my goings. All right. So, you know, with this truth, Yahweh has brought the prophets out of the pit. You know, we were all, you know, in darkness before we were given this truth and the understanding. And, you know, we were just like the heathen. You know, we were just like the 2/3. But Yahweh has set us up on a rock, which is this truth, all right? And it says, and establish his goings. So I'm actually going to pull a precept off that. We're going to go to Proverbs 20 and verse 4. It says, oh, shoot, that's not it. Proverbs, what is it, 24? Let me see. Got a precept. Let me just figure out where it's at. I thought it was Proverbs 20 and 4. But that's not the verse I was looking for. Okay. Proverbs 20 and 24. So it says, a man's goings are of Yahweh. How can a man understand his own way? You see? So just like it said in Psalms 40 in verse 2, he says, and establish my goings. Man's goings are of the Lord, you know. So everything we do, it's because Yahweh put the spirit on us to do it. Whether it's, you know, going out prophesying, whether it's committing suicide, whether it's, you know, whatever. Everything you do is of the Lord. All right. Verse 3. He hath put a new song in my mouth, even praise unto our power, Yahweh. Many shall see it and fear, and shall trust in Yahweh. All right, so who are the many that'll see it? It's the that new song is this doctrine we're teaching on the streets. You know, we've never been taught this way. You know, our people have never been taught that they are the Israelites. They've never been taught that, you know, that they're the greatest people on the planet Earth. They've been taught, in fact, the opposite, you know. So this is the new song that he's put in our mouth, you know. The many shall see it. That's the prophets and the 1/3 who listen, who hearken, you know, and fear. We actually have fear of the Lord. That's why we go out week in and week out and go and prophesy, you know. And that's why we do these videos, because we fear the Lord, you know. And like I tell you through the elders, hey, we learned it's better to fear Yahweh than to love Yahweh, you know. And the best example, he says, is, and I'm talking about Elder Apostle Gabar, he says, hey, if you look at a woman, it's better if she fears her husband than if she loves her husband, All right, because if she loves her husband, these women, they'll still go out and cheat or whatever. But if she fears her husband, hey, she's gonna think twice about going out there and being a whore. Revelation 14:3. It says, "And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth." So you see, the elect, who are the 144,000 chosen prophets out of Israel, 12,000 from each tribe. There's 12 tribes. Those are the ones who can learn this song. Meaning those are the ones who are going to, we're the ones who are going to, we're going to love this truth so much that we're going to learn it, and it's going to be set in our heart and in our mind. All right. Go back to Psalms 40. In verse 4, it says, "Blessed is that man that maketh Yahweh his trust, and respecteth not the proud, nor such as turn aside to the lies." Because the men who are of this truth, in this truth, elect, hey, we don't give a shit about the proud, who are the Esau Edom. We don't care if he's saying, hey, wear a mask. Yeah, we may have to wear a mask in certain times, but when he starts to say, hey, take a vaccine, take a microchip, well, guess what? We're going to give you a big fuck you, and, Lord willing, if it's our lot, then, hey, we have to get our head cut off by guillotine. Whatever the case is, we are building ourselves up so that we can endure and endure the hour of temptation, which is the microchip. Psalms 38 and 34 and 8 is a precept. It says, "O taste and see that Yahweh is good. Blessed is the man that trusteth in him." You see, so the men who trust in him are going to be diligent and learn this truth, and we're going to be able to overcome that hour of temptation, which is the mark of the beast, the microchip. All right. So we're going to go to 125:5 for another precept. "As for such as turn aside into their crooked ways, Yahweh shall lead them forth with the workers of iniquity, but peace shall be upon Israel." You see? So it's all about trusting in Yahweh, And the trust is built up by studying this book, by submerging, baptizing yourself into this truth. All right, so we go back to Psalms 40, and now I'm at verse 5. It says, "Many, O Yahweh, my power, are thy wonderful works which thou hast done, and thy thoughts which are to usward, they cannot be reckoned upon in order unto thee. If I would declare and speak of them, they are more than can be numbered." So we can't even speak on what Yahweh has in store for the elect, because we can't even fathom. Our head would explode trying to fathom what really he has in store for us, because we don't even have the ability, the capacity to think about what he's got set aside for us. Psalm 71:15, "My mouth shall show forth thy righteousness and thy salvation all the day, for I know not the numbers thereof." You see, we don't know. We don't know what's in store. We just know we're the hopeful elect, and we know that we serving him with fear and trembling. I'm gonna go back to Psalms 40, and we are at verse 5. It says, "Many, O Yahweh," I'm at 6. "Sacrifice and offering thou didst not desire. Mine ears hast thou opened, burnt offering and sin offering hast thou not required." All right? Because, in the ancient times, the Israelites would sacrifice animals, and they abused that law, because they were going out doing adultery, doing all kind of dirty shit, doing all kinds of transgression of the law, and then they would they would sacrifice an animal, knowing that they had that option, so they took advantage of it, right? So that's why it says that, "Sacrifice and offering thou didst not desire, Mine ears hast thou opened. Burnt offering and sin offering hast thou not required. So to learn this truth, you ain't got to go sacrifice a goat anymore. Because Yahweh Shai was the sacrificial lamb. That's the only thing that's changed. But Christians will tell you, oh, you can go out and be a fool, act a fool. They say Jesus Christ died for your sins. Well, he first off, Yahweh Shai died for the salvation of the elect and the 144,000, and the 1/3. All right. So the Christians are off when they tell you that bullshit. All right. This is verse 7. Then said I, lo, I come, in the volume of the book it is written of me. You see, so Yahweh Shai comes in the volume of the book, meaning we have to, accept the whole scroll. We have to accept the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Apocrypha, every part of this Bible, every book, in this Bible, which literally is, the volume of the book. All right, let's go to a precept real quick. Luke 24:44. All right. Says, and he said unto them, these are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled, which were written in the law of Moses and in the prophets and in the Psalms concerning me. So this is Yahweh Shai talking, and you see, he said he addressed everybody: the Psalms, the prophets, the law of Moses. That's the volume of the book, not just the Old Testament or not just the New Testament. You have people who are guilty of that. They say, oh, well, I don't believe in the Old Testament. The laws are done away with. Or they'll say, oh, I don't believe in the New Testament. That's Greek text. That's not an Israelite text. Well, the Lord has set up many stumbling blocks, and those are stumbling blocks, if you can't accept this whole book, because you need the Old Testament to support the New Testament and vice versa through the precepts. When we precept, we don't just say, oh, okay, I'm going to stay in the Old Testament and precept just the Old Testament. No, the New Testament supports the Old Testament and vice versa. All right. All right. So now I'm on Psalms 40 and I'm verse 8. All right. Says, I delight to do thy will, O my power Yahweh. Yeah, thy law is within my heart. See, so the law should be in your mind constantly, If it's the Sabbath, hey, you should honor the Sabbath, Don't go out and cook. Don't try not to work if you can't, if you don't have to. Keep the laws in your mind. You see? Let's go to John real quick for a precept. John 4:34, it says, Yahweh Shai saith unto them, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me and to finish his work. You see? So that's what our lot is. If we're a prophet, hey, we got to do the work. We got to finish this work. Meaning we have to go out there in season, out of season. We need to prophesy, every single week. Go out there at least once to camp. And, until Yahweh Shai comes back, That's the delight. We delight in doing the work, and the angels delight when they see us doing the work, and Yahweh does, Matter of fact, let's go to Psalm 34:7, because we have seen chariots at our camp, and obviously the elders have had chariots visit the camp, which are the so-called UFOs. And let's read Psalms 34:7. It says, the angel of Yahweh encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. You see, so the UFOs, the so-called UFOs, encampeth round about us, because we're the ones who fear him. We're the ones who are, putting the world to the side and going out and, prophesying in the name of Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, So that's why those chariots show up to the camps, because they can see the men who are doing the work, all right? The word angel means messenger, all right? The angels are in those chariots, those so-called UFOs. But the so-called white man, the Edomite, he has the world deceived so bad that, and from a young age, like I always say, because they put it in all the cartoons and everything, the green aliens in the UFOs, when in fact those are the angels of Yahweh, all right? Let's go back to Psalm 40, and I'm on 9. It says, I have preached righteousness in the great congregation. Lo, I have not refrained my lips. O Yahweh, thou knowest. You see? So who can say that? Who can say that they've preached righteousness in the great congregation, which would be Israel, Jacob? Who can say that? It's the prophets, the men who are out there doing the work. You can't say that if you just throw your fist up and say shalom as you walk past camp, or if you just tell people, oh yeah, you're an Israelite, and then you leave it at that. You're not diligent, you're not constantly working. So we're gonna go to Psalms, back to Psalms 40 and verse 10. It says, I have not hid thy righteousness within my heart. I have declared thy faithfulness and thy salvation. I have not concealed thy loving kindness and thy truth from the great congregation. So also, ultimately, the great congregation is the 144,000, the elect, all right? So that's why we go and do this work, because we're fishing for the elect. If there's an elect out there watching our videos, then, hey, that's what it's all about, the great congregation, And we're not concealing this truth. No, we're declaring it with faithfulness, and we're speaking of salvation with faithfulness. That's righteous. So verse 11, withhold not thou thy tender mercies from me, O Yahweh, let thy loving kindness and thy truth continually preserve me. Because what can preserve us? This truth is the only thing. And what has preserved us is this truth. All right? Because the elect, when they hear the voice of Yahweh Shai, when there's a scripture that says, when my sheep hear my voice, they come, they know my voice. Let me look for that verse. My sheep know my voice verse. Let's see. Let's go to John for that one. John 10:27. My sheep hear my voice. This is Yahweh Shai speaking. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. You see? So there are a group of men on planet Earth, 144,000 to be exact, that are going to hear the voice of Yahweh Shai, and we follow him whithersoever he go. All right? That's how you know, man. We take this truth to heart. We love the truth. We love the Lord. We fear the Lord, first off and foremost. Excuse me. And basically, that's the whole reason why we're doing this, is to glorify Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Ba'Hashem, and Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem through the Birkat Kodash, you see. Let me go to Psalms 40:11. It says, withhold not thou thy tender mercies from me, O Yahweh, let thy loving kindness and thy truth continually preserve me. The tender mercies is, hey, going up in a chariot, being saved from the destruction of Babylon, being saved from the nuclear missiles that are going to hit this place. All right. Verse 12, for innumerable evils have compassed me about. Mine iniquities have taken hold upon me, so that I am not able to look up. They are more than the hairs of mine head. Therefore my heart faileth me. And really, that's your mind. His mind is failing, King David, Then the innumerable evils, we have to deal with that in captivity, How many times do we see a beautiful woman and she's a lesbian? You know, she's there sitting there dating another woman that is dressed like a man and, you know, is trying to be a man. You know, that's evil. That's a wicked thing. You know, we have to deal with that because we're in captivity. You know, everybody's been polluted here in Babylon. You know, especially the Israelites. You know, so there's so much iniquity going on, and people are not considering the evil or the iniquity because they've been softened up by this wicked society. You know, they've been taught as normal to be, you know, a homosexual or a transgender, or, you know, all these wicked things that we see, these abominations happening, or eating pork or eating shrimp. You know, you tell people, hey, you shouldn't eat shrimp, they get offended, you know, and it's because their iniquities, they don't even know their iniquities because they've been taught by the devil, the Edomite, you know. Verse 13, be pleased, O Yahweh, to deliver me. O Yahweh, make haste to help me. You see, just being, hey, just praying, hey, be pleased to deliver me, you know. You know, we want Yahweh to deliver us, you know. Hopefully it's a pleasing thing, you know. Verse 14, let them be ashamed and confounded together that seek after my soul to destroy it. Let them be driven backward and put to shame that wish me evil. Wish me evil is bad times. You know, so these Edomites, they're going to eventually, you know, get really, the horns are going to come out, you know, and they're really going to show you who they are, the devil, when they usher in this microchip and they make it mandatory, you know, and they enforce it, you know. Like I saw one of the governors, I think it was Phoenix. He was talking about how, you know, how he's they're gonna take the mask serious this time in Phoenix, because I believe it spiked, the coronavirus spiked over there. So they're like, hey, we're gonna take this real serious, and we're gonna, you know, if you don't have a mask on, we are gonna enforce this. You know, that's how he was talking. Eventually, it's going to be that microchip that they're speaking like that about, you know? And, you know, that's when we need the help. That's when we're going to be praying for our enemies to be confounded, you know? You know, Yahweh, Lord willing, he's going to give us the path to take, you know? We may have to go off the grid. We may have to hide from Esau. Who knows, you know? In that day, maybe our women are going to be the ones running to get us, you know, provisions and food and whatnot, you know, because we can't go out, you know, because we'll be seeked by the Esau Edom and his military, you know. I mean, who knows, man? We don't know what's going to come on. We just know that we have to put our trust in this truth, you know. That's all we know. That's our stability. Verse 15, let them be desolate for a reward of their shame, say unto me, aha, aha. See, so yeah, that's what's going to happen. You know, the white man is going to be desolate. The so-called white, the Edomite, he's going to have a burned desert for a country, you know. And that's what they're going to say when they see us, you know, aha, aha, you know, we got him, you know. Psalm 35:21. Yeah, they opened their mouth wide against me and said, aha, aha, our eye hath seen it. You see? You can just hear those Edomites saying that thing, man. You know, Edomites love to fucking catch you, you know, when they can prosecute you or persecute you or oppress you. The Edomite gets high off of things like that, man. It's a natural high for him. That's why they tell on you at work, you know, in the workplace. I know you all have been around some Edomites who are some telling motherfuckers, you know. They want to go tell, you know, like at my job, there's forklifts, you know. I have to be careful because these people will say, oh, hey, he got on his forklift without putting on a seatbelt, you know. Or, oh, he bumped into this dumpster, you know, or, you know, whatever. They'll tell on you, you know, oh, he didn't make a complete stop at the stop sign, you know, in the warehouse. I know because they've done it already to me, you know what I mean? They said, oh, he wasn't making complete stops. He's just making like a California stop when he goes through the entrances. These Edomites will love telling on you, man. They get high off that. That's that aha, that they get into. Psalms 40 and 16. Oh, excuse me. I'm actually at 16. Let all those that seek. All right, sorry. Let all those that seek thee rejoice and be glad in thee. Let such as love thy salvation say continually, the Lord be magnified. You see? We're the ones seeking him because we want to learn this truth. We want to understand this truth. We want to teach this truth, And we're glad. We rejoice, The salvation. The salvation is going to be crazy, Go to a precept in Psalm 35:27. It says, let them shout for joy and be glad that my favor, my righteous cause. Yeah, let them say continue, let the Lord be magnified, which hath pleasure in prosperity of his servant. You see? So, yeah, that's what you should be glad and rejoicing if you're an elect, Go back to Psalm 40 in the last verse. It says, but I am poor and needy, yet Yahweh thinketh upon me. Thou art my help and my deliverer. Make no tarrying, O my power, Yahweh. See, we're poor, and needy, but the Lord looks at us highly, not like the world. All right? The world looks down on us. They don't make no account of our labor. They don't care, they don't take what we do seriously. But Yahweh, on the other hand, hey, it's a delight for him to see his men out there on the corners prophesying. That's why these camps are able to witness chariots, so-called UFOs, because you can bet your bottom dollar that Yahweh has those angels, the messengers, watching us and giving report, to him. Because who do they report to? The angels all report to Yahweh, Make no tarrying. You see, we're saying, hey, if we could get delivered tomorrow, we could, but we know that the microchip still has to come out, We know that certain prophecies still have to be fulfilled before we can get our great salvation and taken up into a chariot, So with that, I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Harakah Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles, Great Millstone, for teaching us this truth. And I also want to acknowledge all the Akim for pushing this truth with sincerity. All right. Shalom to the elect. May you endure to the end.